Ladies and gents, welcome back. Are you planning to travel this summer? That's the question of the day. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let us know how you plan on doing that, especially with, well, here it is in the news. Globe and Mail here. Morning update. Air Canada WestJet rank worst in North America for flight delays. Is that because they're the exceptionally bad companies? Well, no. It's because they happen to be operating in Canada for the most part. And we have from the Globe and Mail here as well. Ottawa under pressure to cancel ArriveCAN app, increased airport staffing as travel chaos continues. Well, where did all their staff go? Hey, we have here the minister who has never been convicted of a sex crime, Marco Mendicino. He says that we're doing good. Public Safety Minister Marco Mendicino speaks with reporters after leaving caucus on meeting on Parliament Hill on Ottawa, June 22nd. The Canada Press. The federal government is facing increased pressure to axe its ArriveCAN app and increase staffing in an attempt to address the chaos plaguing Canada's major airports, where travelers face delays and canceled flights. For weeks, many have wound up stranded for hours at Canada's airports, almost often Toronto Pearson International. This past weekend, Canadian Airlines and airports had more flight delays than nearly any other country in the world. The blame is falling on staff shortages and ArriveCAN app, which was implemented for travelers to prove they were vaccinated and that they have a quarantine plan if they contract COVID-19. Is that what it was really about? And didn't we just have Omar Algebra tell us that, well, no, it's just because people are out of practice from traveling. We're out of practice. Come on, my man. We're all plebs here. We don't get to travel that often. We're not frequent flyers. But when we do it just fine. Thanks very much. Mark Weber, president of the Customs and Immigration Union, said he believes that the lack of frontline staff, ArriveCAN, and over-reliance on technology in general are contributing to the delays. Now, isn't that the plan, though? Isn't that the plan? The fourth industrial revolution, good old Cotton Schwab in Davos tells us that we're going to rely on technology. That's how we're all going to live in the future. We're all going to be relying on this technology. That's all we'll ever need. But the fact of the matter is they fired all the staff because they refused to get the hokey pokey. And now that the world is going back to normal and Canada still wants to keep them restrictions going, they have offered people their jobs back, but not with back pay. And people are saying, yeah, no, I found a job, thanks, after they got fired over a year and a half ago, and are not coming back. We're seeing specifically on the customs side, really long delays for travelers to clear customs when they're coming into the country, he said. Well, so much for that amazing technology that's just going to take care of us here. Melissa Lantsman, conservative transport critic, said Canada's airports have become an international embarrassment. She said rather than continuing to blame travelers and airlines, Transport Minister Omar Algebra and the Liberal government need to take responsibility. Conservatives continue to call for a return to pre-pandemic travel rules and staffing levels to help alleviate the delays and disarray we continue to see at Canadian airports, including ending the mandatory usage of the ArriveCAN app, because ArriveCAN app is not helping us any in this whole situation. It's hindering, if anything. NDP transport critic Taylor Backscratch, I don't know how to pronounce that, said Liberals failed to act even though they had months to prepare for travel to return and are now scrambling to hire screening officers. He then proceeded to vote in lockstep with the Liberals. So we're not going to care much about what he has to say any further. Transport Minister blames airport wait times on Canadians and people around the world who are ready to travel this summer. Still refuses to look in the mirror and admit that his testing and employee vaccine mandates and useless ArriveCan app contribute to the bottlenecks. And well, here's good old algebra. We're still wearing a mask. Oh, yeah, this is just embarrassing at this point. In talking about what he's doing to make our lives so much better.
Hello everyone, bonjour à tous. After 2 difficult years of the pandemic, Canadians and people around the world are ready to travel this summer. And this is great news for our tourism and our economy. But this
So we're just going to ruin it.
is creating a significant impact on wait times for travelers at airport. I want you to know that your government is working hard with our partners to rectify this global phenomena here in Canada. On travaille avec nos partenaires. Since April, over 1,000 CATSA screening officers have been hired across the country. CBSA is also maximizing officer availability, and we are adding more kiosks at Toronto Pearson Customs Hall areas.
Yeah, more of these useless kiosks. It's the thing. And we don't need the ArriveCan app. For years, we've been using these kiosks. I know flying through YVR, use the kiosk, you scan your passport. It recognizes you immediately. There's no point. And then there's a scan for your immigrations and customs.
We've also suspended mandatory random COVID-19 testing, and we will be moving that outside airports.
Suspended. Didn't get rid of it, and they're moving it outside the airport. Good job. Good job. Why don't you take some of those people who do the testing and employ them in the airport to get some of this stuff done?
We are making improvements to ArriveCan so it is faster and easier for travelers to use. For example, starting this week, travelers arriving at Pearson or Vancouver airports are now able to save time by submitting their customs and immigration declaration in advance of arrival.
Okay, so this is not new. We used to do this. We've been doing this for ages. You come flying in, they give you an immigrations and customs paperwork sheet. You fill it out, and you get into the airport. And even with the technology, your customs officer is not going to see it until you stand in front of him anyway. He'll be looking at it for the first time as soon as you stand in front of him. It's not like they've got this advanced operations where they get to read it and leaf through it before you even get to the thing. When there's a lineup of 200 people trying to get out of this airport, they're going to look at it for the first time when they see you. They don't need an ArriveCan app for this. They can still do it the old-fashioned way. It could be paperless too. They don't need the paper, but it doesn't need to be an app. And invasive malware in your telephone, your communication device. But this is what is going on here. Now, if you look at the land borders, say you were to say, hey, we're going to avoid this and we're going to go to the land borders. Well, Canadian border insanity. All clear entering the USA at Fort Erie, but cars backed up and delayed coming into Canada. It's time for Justin Trudeau and Omar Algebra to scrap the onerous ArriveCan app. The biggest argument that I've seen online from the detractors, the people that want to support the Liberals in all of this stuff, is they say, yeah, but especially people who are complaining about the truckers. Yeah, but they weren't allowed in America either. Well, no, it's smooth sailing. You don't need the ArriveCan app in America. This is definitely not the case at all. So this is only a Canadian policy that's affecting people coming into Canada, not leaving Canada. So big problems here. We have Andrew Lawton from True North just laying it down, telling us, no, ArriveCan's here to stay. It always was.
ArriveCan is here to stay. And the government hasn't admitted this. The government hasn't acknowledged it. Last week, Omar Algebra, who's the transport minister, talked about all the things they're doing with ArriveCan. And if you look at it, it's clear it's not going away. This thing that was brought in simply for COVID is now becoming a permanent fixture where if you want to enter your own country, you have to log all your details on this app and get a little passcode that you can give to the border officer, and if you don't, you will be fined. So Jean-Yves Duclos, he said, ArriveCan's working. ArriveCan's actually making it quicker for people to go through the customs lines. That's what he says. ArriveCan's actually making things easier. So I've used ArriveCan a number of times. You have to when you're coming back into the country or you get fined. And it used to be about you just log all your information. And now what they're trying to do, and this is what Omar Al-Ghabra was talking about last week, they're trying to integrate it with your customs clearing. So the questions that you have to answer, do you have any fruit and vegetables? Have you been to a farm? Stuff like that is now going to be part of ArriveCan. So what the government gets with ArriveCan is advanced knowledge of those who are coming to Canadian borders. It's supposed to be, as a Canadian citizen, you're supposed to be able to show up at a Canadian border and say, here's my Canadian passport, let me in, and that's enough. Because the government cannot deny you entry to your own country. But they can make your life miserable and they can fine you. And this is what they're doing right now. They're saying, oh yeah, if you come in as a Canadian and you haven't done ArriveCan, we'll let you in. But we're going to make you pay like $5,000 for the privilege of entering your own country without using the government's creepy ArriveCan tracking app.
Creepy indeed, creepy. Links in the description down below if you want to watch the rest of this video. But we're looking at this. Everything in the Liberals do is always previewed at Davos. Public Safety Minister Marco Mendicino, the minister who's never been convicted of a sexual allegation, I'd just like to add, ArriveCan app was originally created for the purpose of COVID-19, but has technological capacity beyond that. It was never intended to just be for COVID-19, but here, let's have a listen.
We're developing, through technology, an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So, individual carbon footprint tracker. Stay tuned. We don't have it operational yet, but this is something that we're working on.
In Canada. That's what I've got for you on this one. So let me know in the comments down below. Are you planning to travel this summer? Because, whoa, it's going to be delay. So plan for hours and hours. Just have an entire day to travel. If you're traveling out, probably not so bad. When you're traveling in, get ready for it. Anyway, we'll see you in the next video. Keep on trucking.